So the defense. I expect these are my expectations. I want y'all to put it in the chat. What y'all expectations are for total D. What's going to be the total D ranking for the defense at the end of the season? And I'm going to go with top 25 to 30 at minimum. And I think it could be higher than that. I think last year we finished, man, crap. I forget what we finished last year. It wasn't great. But I believe this defense is going to improve. And just really quickly, last year, I mentioned this as well. um, Last year was not a talent issue as much as it was a coaching schematic issue. Okay. You can't tell me that the Purdue's and the let me see, the Wisconsins and the Iowas or teams like that who trot out 3 stars and sprinkle with 4 stars are more talented than Ohio State recruits. Look at me with a straight face and tell me that that's true. It's not true. So my point is this: Kerry Combs was in over his head. As a fan base, we had reservations about him taking over as a D coordinator, but we gave him the benefit of the doubt collectively because we love Kerry Combs. We know he's produced first round draft picks at coaching corner. He had a nice stint with the Tennessee Titans. We figured maybe he learned some things in the pros. And it was a familiar face, great recruiter. So we thought, hey, you know what? Let's just hope he can step up and do what he needs to do. But it just didn't work out. Not only were we not prepared, as far as the game goes, he just couldn't make adjustments. We were doing simple elementary things. Our young guys didn't know what crack replace was, or at least they didn't act like it on the field. They were running the same plays and scoring on us at Oregon. And it's just you can't have that. And Ryan Day he didn't come out right out and say it, but he was basically saying in his press conferences that he talked about adjustments, adjusting quicker, and we just weren't doing that. So the point is this: competency. Having an actual defensive coordinator who's proven that he knows what he's doing. Okay. You can talk like Ryan Day. You can have a conversation with him, talk football with him. Like this dude is legit. Then he shows it on the field with his schemes and his preparation. Jim Knowles is a really good defensive coordinator and a great mind, okay, who brought a competent coaching staff around him with their track record, with the new coaches we hired, all screamed competent. So that alone, competency alone, is going to make this defense better. Okay? So if the players know what they're doing, they're going to play better. Add that to the fact that some of these young players are going to be a year better because of experience. Okay? So logically, that tells you the defense is going to be better. If I'm wrong, you can come back and whatever, troll me, whatever. But this defense will be better. How much better is the question? And looking at the chat, 60 of Dustin. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, not great. That's not Buckeye football. That's not silver bullet level at all. So going to be a slow start. Kevin Bennett, by the end of the season, they will jail and shut down teams to get off the field on third down. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. And Keldrick's top 25 with a defensive identity and scheme. Agreed. Jesse, absolutely, bro. And I was talking to my dudes, man, my homies I talk to every day, and they were saying top 30 natty as well. And it's that simple because you need an offense to score points, period. We got that offense. And if the defense is top 25, 30, we're in the playoffs for sure. And we're going to be right there in position to legitimately win a natty. That's it. If the defense is at least top 30, it's a wrap. So, and I believe they will. I believe it's going to be top 25, 30 at worst for the defense. So, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move on for the sake of time. I know we're getting a little late here. Okay, so thoughts and predictions for the 2022 season. Before we do that, we're going to end out with that. Let me quickly address NIL transfer portal. And yeah, and we'll see how the time is going because it's almost coming on the hour. But if y'all stick around, I can keep going. It depends on y'all, I guess. It also helped with Sauce Gardner going in the first round with the new DB coach. Absolutely, that's another gold medal. On the recruiting trail. Like boom, like what? Look what I produced at Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Absolutely, good point, Corey. Great point. And don't even get me started on Brian Hartline. So yeah. So let me touch on NIL real quick. I'm not gonna stay on NIL that long, but I just saw a post earlier about there's supposed to be some type of task force or something that's supposed to rein in the regulations for NIL, and I'm glad. I was worried about the whole Wild Wild West bidding for players type thing with the NIL because listen, there's a balance. Do I think the old way with the athletes was right? No, it was not. These dudes could get a violation for getting a free fry at Burger King because they were a college football player. That's ridiculous. All right. We all know these universities were making millions of dollars off of their efforts on the field. Yes, they're getting a free education, but they also have a rigorous schedule. And a lot of these kids don't come from money. Okay. So let's just not act like, there was some unfairness in the deal. However, what we tend to do in society on all levels is we overcorrect. And NIL, at least at first, has been an overcorrection, in my opinion, but now it needs to be reined in and balanced out to where it makes more sense for all parties. Because what was the kid, Addison, to USC for like $3 million in a house or something goofy like that? I want these kids to get paid for their efforts, but come on, let's pump the brakes a little bit and balance this thing out, and hopefully they'll do that. Jay Baker, what up, man? What up? I appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Bob Cody. Oh, ACOC. By the way, I love that ACOC name. I've been looking into that. I haven't seen any updates about that yet, but I've been peering into that to see what's up because we could definitely use his services. So now let me quickly touch on the transfer portal. Okay. And some of y'all are not going to like this. I've been looking at the comments on my page, and I want to try to establish some perspective and balance with this as well. When I post such and such is in the transfer portal, some of y'all just freak out like, oh my God, and they're afraid to compete, and they're scared and entitled and all this other stuff. Come on, y'all. Pump the brakes a little bit on that. Yes, the transfer portal is new and we're still adjusting to it. It's a few years in. But think about this. The kids who transferred out, was there anybody who transferred out? He was like, dang, that sucks for us. Man, that really cripples us. Not for me. All of these kids that I saw transfer was like, yeah, that makes sense. Saw that coming. Cool. Best for both parties. Peace. Best of luck to you. Remember, we got Justin Fields in the transfer portal. Do y'all not remember that? Come on. We got Jonah Jackson from Rutgers, who is in the league right now. I think he's still on the roster. Is he with the Lions still? And I'm missing a few others that I'm just not thinking of off the top of the head. But we, in this new transfer portal world, we're going to have some wins and we're going to have some losses. But I feel like we've done pretty good overall, all things considered, right? I mean, I'll give up. Man, these kids we just lost. None of them were like, big losses. Let's just be real. So just keep the perspective on that. We ain't gotta freak out. Everything is not he doesn't want to compete. You know what I mean? Like, I get it's a case by case situation. If you're a third year red shirt and you are at the bottom of the depth chart and you're not going to play except against Toledo and Arkansas State, go ahead and bang out. We need to get under that 85 scholarships anyway, which is another thing is hilarious about our fans, about any fans, not our fans, any fan. Is, oh my God, how are we going to get under the 85? Every year it's a freak out. We always get under 85. under Tressel, under Bruce, under whoever, whenever since the rule was instituted. It always happens. Stop freaking out about that. I'm never worried about the 85 ever. It always works out. Anyway, rant over. But don't freak out. The transfers we just had all made sense, right? And we can still reach into the portal and do our thing or whatever, and we gonna do that. But we good, y'all. We good. Corey, hopefully hitting and tackling gap assignments are worked on this fall camp. Absolutely, and they will be, because we actually have a competent coaching staff on defense to make sure that happens. Speaking of Fields, hope he gets help with the O-line being trashed for the Bears. Don't get me started on the Chicago Bears, man. Now, these guys they drafted, these guys we never heard of, they could be all great, but I'm not convinced. And it's just going to, continue the goofy narrative. Oh, Ohio State can't put quarterbacks, in the NFL. Oh, man. I wanted him to go to San Francisco so bad. Why did they have to pick Trey Lance? Anyway.